into the media program just to give it a little test run, and here I am.
Yeah.
I stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of just bumped into each other in class and got to talking and got to figuring out that hunting and fishing was a big common ground for us both. And we kind of sat down and discussed some things out and was like, why don't we record a TV show? And it just blossomed from there. That's what started us with Red Wolf Outdoors.
Just a couple of boys with a couple of buddies and about 6 cameras set up, and we started playing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a second. But, as non-traditional students, it's great to be able to have you, one, back in school and being able to work on this and choosing creative media production. And I know that this is something that would be great for other people who are probably non-traditionals to think about. Now's the time to come back to school and finish that degree, change majors, whoever they need to do. Kind of your thoughts on the non-traditional route and how Arkansas State has helped you all in getting back into the swing of things with schooling.
Well, I think a lot of that, honestly, is from my point of view and perspective. I've already lived an adult life. Basically, done the things that these current students, the younger students, traditional students, are going to do, as far as life experiences. And I've kind of figured out a direction of where I wanted to go, being older, non-traditional, coming back. And I've, along with Daniel, have decided, we wanted to be involved, not just come back and be a student. We want hands-on. We want to get in there and get our hands dirty and do something with it. I mean, and we've pretty well taken the cameras and just ran with it.
That's fantastic. So, and I imagine a lot of times there might be students that are like my daughter's age, they're 20, 21, something like that, may look and say, you know what, I'm just kind of going through some life things and just asking for advice. And that's definitely an advantage, being able to have that. Have you had an opportunity to see that, Daniel?
I have. I've talked with a couple of people that have asked me how do I go about doing things, and I'm just like, you just gotta look at your future and see what you really passionate, really want to do, and that's why I'm here today. Is I've sat back and overlooked my life and come to a conclusion that running a camera and helping and being hands-on is what I want to do.
Let's talk about the show, Red Wolf Outdoors. So how did you all come up with the idea for Red Wolf Outdoors?
It was kind of just a spur of the moment idea that just really struck me to begin with. Because you don't see it anymore. It ain't like it was 10, 15 years ago where there was some kind of hunting or fishing on everything. Everything's kind of faded. Everybody's going to like tennis, basketball, baseball, and all that stuff, and it's a really saturated market. And nobody looks at the hunting industry really anymore. That hunting's a sport.
I'll cut in a little with that. He kind of ran that by me because I was actually involved with Mr. Sullivan in another class and was filming men's and women's basketball. Mm-hmm. And I was loving it. I still love it. I'm ready to go do some baseball, some football right now. I love being behind the camera. But he ran the idea of the outdoors, and I'm like Daniel is. We're avid hunters, and I was like, well, heck, why not? Let's show the folks what we do. We'll give them a little glimpse into how we live.
So when you're putting the shows together, how do you go about like saying, okay, this episode we're going to do whatever? How do y'all, from the show creation side to filming and all that, how does that work?
Base it off of the season and time of year of what's going on, what we can do. Like our first episode, it was based on the end of duck season, so we just kind of filmed a big duck hunt and all that. And this time of year, it's warm, it's nice weather. Let's fishing, kayaking, four-wheeler riding, through now till hunting season starts, and then get into like duck, teal.
Early season teal,
early
you'll have
season
your
teal, dove, deer.
All the migratory birds will start coming back around August, September area. But between now and then, we've got fishing, and frog season comes in a week and a half or so, I believe. We've got some buddies that fish some professional bass tournaments, so we're thinking about trying to get in on some fishing with those guys once in a while. We've got a few ideas in the works for future episodes.
That's fantastic, and that's one of those things that unlike where you have some sports where you have like the football season and that this kind of show you could do literally all year round because
Yes, sir.
you got so many things, and there's just something about the outdoors. There's a lot of people that's just what they want to do and they want to be.
And like way back now, even if we wanted to go down, say, Stuttgart,
Yeah.
we could always cover the duck calling competition, the Worlds. I actually had a friend, rest in peace, Mr. Antonio Duckman Jones. I don't know if you know him. He passed away, but he was a buddy of mine that won the Worlds in 2012. And we had a ball with that. That'd be some good coverage to go do something like that. But I mean, there's plenty of opportunities as far as getting out and having episodes year round because of all the little off-season get-togethers and festivals and like big buck classics that goes around. There's always something to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of different, like all over. Like you've got everything from like refuge duck calls, and you've got Max down in Stuttgart, and you've got D&W here in Jonesboro. You've got so many different areas you can do that, but also I imagine that here on the A-State campus, you could probably find a good community of people that also enjoy this kind of
Well,
show.
we've looked into a list of student organizations, and we're going to try to be reaching out to a few of those guys in the very near future and see if we can't get something together as far as maybe a partnership with those guys and have those guys involved with us if they would like to be. And if you guys are seeing this now, reach out to us.
Yeah.
If you're interested, reach out.
Now, one thing you said, Dustin, that you love doing the football, basketball, shooting, all that. How much of a difference and a challenge is it if you're doing this compared to Red Wolf Outdoors? I mean,
I will honestly say that Red Wolf Outdoors is way more complicated to navigate than doing any type of sports at all. The sports, you're pretty well steady and you're just back and forth. Now, if you're in a duck blind or anywhere in the woods, you're constantly moving, trying to get different shots, different angles. Even if you've got 6 cameras set up, your mind is still constantly running. Is that camera in the right spot? Are we getting this angle? I mean, there's so much that goes into this show, and we're basically a 2-man operation, and
That we are.
we learned a lot in our first episode. There's going to be a lot of changes coming soon. It's a learning experience, and we're improving as we go.
I'm excited to be able to see that. In fact, what we'll do is we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more on this interview as we're talking to Creative Media Production students. We're talking to Dustin Shannon, and also we're talking to Daniel Speakman. And when we come back, after the show, we're actually going to have a preview of Red Wolf Outdoors. We'll be doing that after this next segment. So stick around for that. We'll take a break. When we come back, ASU Connections, or Making Connections, comes up right after this.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Red Wolf Radio is a student-led organization at Arkansas State University wanting to hear your takes on pop culture, music, the news, and college life. Just about anything you can think of. Located in the Education and Communications building on campus, we are always looking for more volunteers. So if you're an Arkansas State University student, no matter the major, and this is something that interests you, shoot us an email at redwolfradio@astate.edu. That's redwolfradio@astate.edu. Let them hear you howl.
Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of Red Wolf Outdoors. We are brought to you by ASU-TV. I am
Welcome to Red Wolf Outdoors. My name's Dustin. This is Dan. We're out here today in the timber with Cherokee Cypress Duck Club out of Newport, Arkansas. Gonna see if we can't put us a few birds in the blind with us today.
That's right, brother. You ready to get this hunt going?
Let's get it.
Let's go.
And welcome back to A-State Connections. I hope you enjoyed that preview of Red Wolf Outdoors. And so with that, with Red Wolf Outdoors, we're talking to Creative Media Production students Dustin, Shannon, and Daniel Speakman, who did a fantastic job there as just a little bit of a sneak preview of what you can expect when you keep watching the show. Those were fun fun segments. You all did a really good job with that. And I know you were talking about, you have like 6 or 7 different cameras. You're trying to figure out how to do all that, but that looked really good. You said you learned a lot on the process. As you continue to develop the show, what are some of the things that you'll do to be able to, that you kind of took from that to be able to help with either camera shots or other things that you'll be working on?
More of getting the angles we wanted. That was a big lesson learned, getting proper angles, which, I mean, there's some really good shots in it, but there was some stuff that we seen that needed to be worked on as of angle-wise for it.
In blind angles are a big thing. The exterior stuff we got some pretty cool shots with that. I wish we had some of the actual just stills that we took. We've got some pretty sweet stuff of the dog jumping out of the blind, like running over guys trying to get out of the blind after a duck. That dog's name is Bourbon, and he is high strung. I tell you, if that dog is in the blind in a field, his teeth chatter so loud that he's just ready to go, high powered. And if he's in the timber, we cut the audio on all of that.
Yeah.
But he screams when he's going after a duck in the water.
Really?
Man, that dog has so much drive. But you get him back to the truck, that's the calmest dog you've ever seen in your life. But he's a whole lot of dog. That's my buddy Nathan, the guy that was tossing the decoys in the blind, or in front of the blind. That's his dog. He did quite a bit of traveling to go pick that one up, and he was well worth the money and trip, I promise you.
Fantastic. Well, and that dog have a GoPro?
He did.
Yes.
We actually put a cam on the dog, and we got some pretty good stuff with that. We didn't use any of it, but we're actually going to order. That harness was a chest harness for a person.
Yeah.
And we rigged it to where it would sit on his back, but it wobbled too much with his shoulder blades as he walked.
Right.
And they do actually make a dog harness, and we are ordering one.
So that way you can do that.
It's going to be a double. They have one that mounts on the back of his neck and one that mounts on his chest at the same time. So you get two different views while you're going with the GoPros on him.
The Bourbon cam.
That's right.
The bourbon cam, I like that. That's fantastic. You're able to do that. So
and a little stage fright, First
Well, of
episode
course.
jitters, but everything's getting better. We're more comfortable with it and carrying on.
well, that's a lot of times that first episode you kind of get through it, and then it's like, okay, now we can continue working on that. And it's really a unique thing. I think you said this right, Daniel, when we talked in the first segment of the show, is that years ago you had like Duck Dynasty, and you had all of these shows that were out there now. And I remember, Bill Dance and, and all the fishing shows and all that, Is there like a resurgence of that, or is it still out there? Because I know now with streaming the way that it is, it's like you've got so many opportunities now to be able to say stuff. You would think of outdoor TV or all that. What are your thoughts on that?
It's coming back. It is, but not in what it was like 10, 15 years ago. 10, 15 years ago, it was on everything. You had My Outdoor TV, you had the Real Tree channel, you had the Mossy Oak channel, you had all these shows. But over the years, they've just kind of dwindled down to nothing. And anymore, if you want to watch hunting and fishing, you really got to hunt for it.
Most of what you see on like Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, stuff like that now is advertisements. There's not much hunting at all. You may get a 10-minute segment of hunting, but then you get 20 minutes of advertisement for bows and broadheads and deer stands, and I mean it's like the Home Shopping Network now, basically.
Right. Then y'all are wanting to flip that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we
we're
want to bring the action back to the channel, to the world.
Yeah, and do it the Red Wolf way.
That's
for
right.
sure,
That's
and all
right.
that.
Yep.
So, as you're doing this, we talked a little bit about episodes that might be coming up and those things. What's kind of in the hopper? What's in the works for like immediate shows?
Well, we're just a little spoiler. Our next episode is a cooking segment.
Cooking one.
And we fed a lot of people some good groceries when we filmed it.
I'm gonna tell you what,
had
that
a lot
was
of
some
fun.
good stuff.
That was a fun day.
And that's something we're going to incorporate too, and more into the show is cooking, the process of how it's done. Because a lot of people, they see the hunt, they see the catch and all that stuff, but you don't see a lot of the prep work and stuff that goes into the meal afterwards. And we want to bring that in too.
We thought about maybe doing a rotation type show. Excuse me, to where we hunt or fish, and then the next week for the episode we're prep and cook. For the and then we jump back to a hunt, and then we hunt and cook. It's kind of going to be a rotation type deal to where we can show y'all how we put our groceries away.
Right. Do your kids hunt with you?
They do. My youngest, I swear this was the fastest hunt I've ever been on in my life. I took my girls, not this past year, but the year before, we went and got in my buddy stand. we were sitting there maybe 10 minutes and they were chit-chatting, you know, trying to, one of them's 9 and the other one is 12. So they were bickering back and forth about elbow room. And
Right.
I finally got them quiet. I said, now y'all got to be quiet or we're not going to kill anything. And I heard just right off the bat footsteps behind me. I jumped with my gun, turned around, and I had to duck the kids down and shoot behind them and killed a pretty nice 8-point. And he didn't quite die on the first shot. And my little girl, the youngest one, she freaked out. She's a weak stomach girl, and she saw that deer moving. And I got down and was going to go over there and finish the job. Well, I took care of that, and she was crying, ran back to the deer stand, and my oldest was just standing there laughing. She loved it. She loves deer hunting, duck hunting, all of it. But they're daylight and dark as far as eating. Now, my oldest, she loves to hunt. She loves the prep. She loves to eat.
Yeah.
My youngest, like I said previously, she's a candy monster.
Right.
She
right.
likes to sneak around, eat her sweets, and not eat much. But no, she won't eat much of anything. She's a very picky eater, and
Right.
I don't think she's ever going to grow.
Why is hunting important?
It's a dying sport. There's not a lot of folks that do it anymore. Daniel, you want to take over on that?
Yeah,
a
I
little?
can step in on that.
You got a pretty good sense
To
of
me,
this one.
hunting, it's not only our roots. I mean, back before we had, sustainable grocery stores and stuff, we survived off the land. But also it's a conservation effort. I mean, without hunting and fishing, look at the animal population densities. They would just explode tremendously, and then it would put a hurt on the environment that a lot of people overlook. If it ain't for hunters and fishermen,
We're
our-
population control.
the
basically.
population control, it would just be outrageous.
That's right.
And it is important to know that there are limits as to what
Yes.
what you can do.
Yes.
In that.
And they change yearly, pretty much. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that stuff. Always check your rule and regulation books, and you can get them free. Walmart, about any other sporting goods store. If you just look by the registers, they're usually laying on the counter. But I would definitely check before you head out and do anything, because you don't want those tickets. They're not cheap.
They are very expensive.
No, and that's one of the things too, is that it's all done responsibly, in that, and there are people that love it, but of course it's closely monitored by the Game and Fish Commission and all that. But there's a lot of good places to go out and be able to, even if you've never started before or you've never done it, take your kids out and
Take them out and go fishing.
That's right.
Go fishing.
Go fishing.
Go
The
fishing.
Game and Fish gives a free fishing weekend once a year, I believe, and you don't have to have a license to fish anywhere in the state of Arkansas. You just load up your stuff and go anywhere you want. It's called Free Fishing Weekend, and that's another thing you should find in your rule and regulation book for the fishing stuff too as well. But
And one of the quotes from Bill Dance that I remember, he said that if your wife is mad at you, go buy a fishing pole. She'll still be mad at you, but you'll have a new fishing pole. You'll be ready to go fish. So
that is for sure.
that's good. That'll do it for this edition. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all
We
for
sure
being
enjoyed
here
being
today.
here.
And thank you for being part of the Creative Media Production Program. Looking forward to future episodes of Red Wolf Outdoors. So I want to thank my guests today, Dustin Shannon and also Daniel Speakman, for joining me here today. I also want to thank the wonderful students with the Creative Media Productions Video 1 class, and also Mr. Dustin Sullivan, doing a fantastic job behind the scenes as always running the show. And also we want to thank our broadcast engineers, Timmy Arquette, and also Aiden Barber, and graduate assistant Reese Barnett for their help on the show today. And as we wrap up, we want to show you a preview of Red Wolf Outdoors. So thanks for joining us, and so long, everyone.
today's episode of Red Wolf Outdoors. We are brought to you by ASU-TV. I am Daniel, and let me swing it over here to my co-host.
Hi, my name's Dustin. I'm a lifelong resident of Harrisburg, Arkansas, current student here at A-State. Been hunting and fishing for a total of about 30 years now. Bagged a lot of wild game in my time outdoors. I want to give you a quick little rundown of how my passion with the outdoors from a young age got me to where I am today. I needed a happy change in my life and decided why not do something I loved and get paid for it. So at 40, I re-enrolled in college as a sports management major. I met my co-host Daniel here in class. We began talking of our passion with hunting and fishing. Our discussion led me to changing majors to creative media production and quickly started turning things into Red Wolf Outdoors. I'm going to pass it back over to Daniel and let him tell a little bit about himself.
Well, everyone, you know who I am. I'm Daniel. I'm a creative media major here at A-State. A little more about me. I'm a student and a photographer on the, I guess you can call it the side.
We do a little freelance work,
Yeah.
and I've been helping as well with another class I've got, filming a little sports action, little men's and women's basketball for ESPN Plus. So I'm getting a little more experience as well.
Right. Well, kind of going back off of what he said, we met in the class and kind of got to talking about how our travels have led us and where we've kind of been and from and what we do. And a little more behind it is that we just got to talking, and we're big outdoorsmen, hunting, fishing, kayaking, four-wheeler riding, all that good stuff. And
everything just kind of clicked, and we started putting stuff together. Welcome to Red Wolf Outdoors. My name's Dustin. This is Dan. We're out here today in the timber with Cherokee Cypress Duck Club out of Newport, Arkansas. Gonna see if we can't put us a few birds in the blind with us today.
that's right, brother. You ready to get this hunt going?
Let's get it.
Let's go. Dakota, how long have you been running the club out here?
This is my third season running the club. I actually managed one for about 5 or 6 years until the guy retired and I decided to start my own thing.
I got you. Well, how's season been? Because a lot of places around here, season's been rough.
We've, despite how bad the season has been, we've probably killed my whole operation around 2,000 ducks. So I'd say we've fared better than a lot of people.
Y'all have fared better than a lot of people.
Now, it ain't a bunch of mallards.
Right.
But, teal, gadwall, several mallards, but take what we can get.
I understand. So Dakota, tell us a little bit about everything out here.
All right. Well, yeah, this is one of our new properties we picked up, and we've shot about 400 or 500 birds on this tract of timber right here, and we got about 90 to 100 acres right here. It's right off the cache butts right up to it, and it's probably been one of the best things we've ever invested in right here. You know, we always hear people preaching, want timber, and this kind of fell in our laps, and it was a little bit developed, and we're going to do some more work to it in the coming years. And
I see you got your blind sitting here. What kind of setup you got running here for the blind, and what was the reason behind it?
so we actually had a 3-man blind that's been here since the 1980s. And I said, hey, let's take the original blind. Let's not change nothing about this tract of property. Nobody's hunted it in about 10 years. I said, hey, instead of just tearing it down, let's just go ahead and add to it. So instead of a 3-man blind that was 10 foot, we added 16 foot one way. We added 16 foot another way. We made a cooking room, decoy shed, and you know, we can hunt 8 people comfortably out of this blind. And man, it's probably been one of the best things that we could have ever done. This is, when you think of Arkansas duck hunting, this is it. This is
the creme de la creme of Arkansas duck hunting.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You don't see many blinds like this on many places anymore. Everybody's either slimmed down or just completely got rid of blinds.
Yep.
Why do you think that is?
Man, you know, you have a lot of these operations, and I'll go ahead and say some names. You know, you got your White Oaks and Claypools and places like that, and you know, the people that can't compete can't hang with that being on the river. You know, but what we've done here is we planted some food plots in it, and we got some fields flooded around it. We've held the ducks here, and we don't hunt it every day. This is one of the places, you know, that probably got hunted maybe 25 or 30 times, and we just kind of managed it just how these guys are doing. And what we found is that if you can do that, then you can kill ducks. So, period.
Well, Dakota, I appreciate you for the interview,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Yes, sir.
We had a pretty successful morning here at Cherokee Cypress. How you fellas feeling about today?
Killing as many ducks we did in the rain in the timber this morning is that's quite the accomplishment, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wouldn't have went out here.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't even have tried it this morning with as hard as it's been raining. I think we've got 3 inches of rain so far. You know, it's midday right now, so heck, the last 6 hours we've got 3 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain. It's raining hard. But we got several birds to work.
Killed 12.
Put a few on the water.
Yeah, it's been a good day. Hey, we ain't wet.
I will.
We ain't wet.
Hey, we cooked some burgers about 10 o'clock, and breakfast about 7. Hell, boys, we doing good.
Good groceries, good camaraderie.
Best way to do it.
Come on out, get you a spot in line with these fellas.
Be prepared to follow us on Instagram, and
I'm doing Twitter and Facebook, so we'll have stuff set up soon.
then we'll have another little teaser come next episode for all of y'all. So stay tuned, and we will see you next time.
Happy hunting.
And good luck.